That lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and it's good to be back in the Old Curiosity Shop. Where have you been? Not where have you been, where have I been? Well, I haven't been anywhere. Not really. So I'll fill you in a little bit because I have had some folks ask, very kind of you to ask, having seen the damage on the news that has taken place in Philadelphia and in New Jersey. But there's been damage, a huge swath across this country from where the hurricane landed and then moved its way up to New England, and has left a lot of people without homes and serious damage in many places. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who has suffered loss or damage from the storm. I am fine here on the 8th floor in Philadelphia. I appreciate everyone asking. No one has ever seen anything like this in anybody's lifetime. Just a few blocks away from here, the Vine Street Expressway, was to see that under almost 15 feet of water right here in the middle of Philadelphia. It was, I don't know how many of you have ever been to Providence, Rhode Island, but there's a wonderful river that runs right through the heart of the city, and that's exactly what this looked like in Philadelphia, but it's a major highway. Yes, 15 feet, as high as 15 feet, but it's drying out, and you know, it seems insignificant when people have lost lives and homes, but we're drying out and cleaning up in different places. There's no damage here. My parents are fine. My mother and stepfather, there was complete destruction less than 10 miles from their home in Mullica Hill, New Jersey. My parents live about 10 miles out of Mullica Hill, New Jersey, but there were several homes that were absolutely, completely destroyed. And so we pray for those folks. And you know, oftentimes during times like this, and I imagine this is true in many communities across this country, the good old churches, you know, they come together, and the fire departments and the women's auxiliary and even the PTA and local business owners and shopkeepers, they all come together to help their neighbors. And so there's a lot of assistance, and it's one of those things where it's going to take some folks quite some time to recover. And we think about those who lost their lives in New York and New Jersey and in Pennsylvania and in other parts of the country as well. So thank you for asking. Here I am, and I've got some stuff to show you. Now, thank you everybody who purchased items from the fall extravaganza. Well, let's see. The packing department will be packing all of those items on Monday, and the shipping department will be shipping all of those items out, the shipping department, on Tuesday, because there's no postage on Monday. It's the holiday here in the U.S., Labor Day. This is Labor Day weekend. But, so it all goes out in the mail on Tuesday of next week, and I have the store is depleted. Don't go look at my eBay shop. There's nothing in it. I'm working on it. I have a few items here I'm going to show you, a few extra autumn items that are going to be in the shop. So I have a few autumn items, little extras that were hiding from me, that I'm going to be putting up, and I hope to be adding things to the store every day this week. So if you subscribe to the eBay store, which doesn't cost you anything, I don't get your name and number, or you're not going to get any emails or anything unless you want to get notifications. But you can subscribe to the store and activate a notification. That might not be how you say it. So that anytime I list anything new in the store, you'll get a little bing in your email or on your cell phone. Not that any of us needs another bing or a bong on our cell phones. I just thought I'd let you know that that option is there. Also, we're going to go and see, I have a little bit of thrifting footage for you. And let's go to that thrifting footage right now, because I want you to see a discovery that I made in a thrift shop. And it was a detached retina, dance the polka in the parking lot moment. Let's go and see while we have a sip of hot coffee. And hopefully this afternoon you're having a sip of something that you enjoy as well. Now let's go to the thrift shop. Now that's a crane. I just thought I would show you a typical scene here in the city when they want to do, when they're trying to like put air conditioners on the top of a roof or redo something with the HVAC. That's how they do it. They put a great big crane. You can count the stories. Some of you have asked me about that building. It is not abandoned. It is not derelict. I know it might look that way, but just have to become accustomed to certain industrial buildings that have that kind of a look, but it is full and fully operational. Anyway, that's the back of it. The beautiful facade is on Broad Street, built in 1930, very Art Deco. You've seen it before. Okay, I have to go to the post office. What a beautiful sky! Okay, all I can say is no way. There is no excuse. None. No. Can you say firewood? That is hideous. Okay, Steve and Edie, we're very happy for you. And I'm happy for myself because, look at this, 16 hours of Sherlock Holmes. And so I'm definitely going to be buying that. I think it looks really cool. And I have sufficiently regained my composure after getting as far away from that ugly chair as possible. And look. Do you guys know what this is? It is only $3.99. I want to say Fenton. I'm going to say Fenton, but I may be off base on that. It's a color called Canary Yellow, and it was made in the 1930s. I think Fenton put it out. It's a little dirty, but it will clean up. So it's a nice little art glass vase. Once again, Fenton, circa 1930, Canary Yellow. But let's confirm that when we get home. Okay? I love it. And there might even be uranium in this. I do not remember, but it's just beautiful, and we'll take a closer look later. Wow. Well, anyway, as soon as I got in my car, it hit me. It's not Canary Yellow. That's not what Fenton called it. Fenton called it Chinese Yellow, and I remembered that as soon as I got out of the thrift shop. And here it is. Woo! It's a beautiful 6-inch glass vase made by Fenton, and it was circa 1930. Now there is enough uranium in this. When you put a black light on it, it will look like Walmart on Christmas Eve. Not that I've ever been to Walmart on Christmas Eve. I can imagine. And these were, you could get these in jade. I know they came in jade or jade. I don't know what Fenton called that particular green color. Not Florentine green, that's something else. But this is what Fenton called Chinese yellow when they made this glass. And I had, if you remember, I had one of these last summer. It, however, had some really nasty calcium ring on the inside that would not come off, and that hurt the value of it. This one is in pristine condition, no cracks or chips, and it should sell for up to $150. And it looks fantastic on a black glass pedestal base that Fenton also made. So it's really, really nice. And nobody else got it. I don't know if anybody else knew what it was, but there it is. Now let's go back to the shopping. Later. Okay, let me grab Sherlock Holmes. And bye Steve, bye Edie. I think they got divorced, but I think they're both still kicking, aren't they? My parents used to listen to Steve and Edie back on that big old console stereo. in the 60s? You did too, you know you did. Okay, I don't know if we can do any better than the Chinese yellow Fenton vase, but we certainly will. We certainly will try. Oh my goodness, I thought that chair was bad. This looks like something left over from the set of Dark Shadows. Yeah, Barnabas Collins would love it. Who had that stuff back in the, is that 1960s, early 70s? Well, here I am, pushing my cart through the furniture department, past the big pink 1980s, whatever that is. Some kind of a vase. There's that butter dish cheese dish thing. Oh, we haven't seen that yet. Well, you get a sneak peek. We're going to take a closer look at that at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned. Yeah. Now, what's this? I saw this great big Victorian house with a mansard roof. Oh, it's a cookbook. Okay. It caught my eye because it was sticking out like that. Sometimes just for kicks and jollies, I like to flip through the LP department. LP, that stands for Long Playing Record for any of my young audience members. I have a feeling, though, most of my audience members know that this is a box of 78s. Dorothy Shea, the Park Avenue hillbilly, she made some comedy records in the 40s. These are all 78s, which again, for the audience who may not understand 78, the records are called 78 because they spin at 78 RPMs, revolutions per minute, and of course, the LPs at 33 1/3. Jackie Gleason, yes. And that is the Jackie Gleason. Did you know he had a wonderful orchestra and recorded beautiful music in the 60s? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. What about the holiday cooking season? Are you guys getting excited about it, knowing that we can actually have folks over? I'm kind of getting excited about it. I don't need any additional cookbooks, though, I can tell you that. All right. Seems as though we've moved to another aisle here. All right, let's see what else we can find. What does that say? Welsh costumes. You know, when I got up this morning, I said to myself, what's missing in your life is a little serving dish featuring historical Welsh costumes. But apparently I didn't decide I needed it that badly, so there it sits. There's not a whole lot in that cart. Well, the Christmas things don't look old. I love to buy and sell old Christmas ornaments, but I didn't see anything. Now here's one of those homemade ceramic pieces, and I guess it's a centerpiece. I could have purchased that. It's large. It would have had to have been shipped in a larger than a 12-inch box. And I do see under there that it was made in 1992. So not quite the old 70s era of ceramic. And it is either a Holland mold or an Atlantic mold. I'm sure I could have sold that, but I simply decided it wasn't something that I wanted to buy that day. So we'll leave it there. Now, where are all those 1940s shiny brights? Not this time. Oh, I know, you see it, I see it too. My mother still keeps heads of lettuce in that same thing. She's had it since 1962. And Tupperware, some Tupperware in good shape does sell. I usually don't trade much in Tupperware. Okay, down the glass aisle. And I don't know what's going on with that camera, but what we're going to do now is just look at a sad piece of furniture. This has not been altered. It's a desk/library table, and it's going to date to the very early 1920s. It's an odd form. When it's in the mission style, you see the bookshelf. Well, okay, hold on. What am I pointing out? Original hardware. The legs are a little awkward, the design. This is the bookshelf on the side. I'm used to seeing these in oak. Some applied decoration there. So this is really a mission era form. Mission oak library table, 1910. And as we get into the 20s, when the mission oak has really gone out of style, they liven it up a little bit with some mahogany veneer, and they change the way the legs are configured on it. So it's a somewhat awkward looking, but certainly a piece of furniture that's well over 100 years old. And I've now stepped into another thrift store, and the first thing that I spot after that Bohemian crystal is a piece of imperial glass. Now this is the Cape Cod pattern. Very easy to spot, very easy to learn. Manufactured from the 1930s into the 80s. So if you're slightly intimidated by the clear glass, it's a lot of fun when you're out and you spot something and you can figure out what it is. And Cape Cod Imperial is one that's pretty easy to spot. That's new, although it kind of looked like art glass. There's that Cape Cod again. Now, as I said, there's a lot of it out there. Many people are still using it. Be careful. Do your research. Some of it sells well, the rarer pieces, and some is very affordable and wouldn't really suit me to actually buy to try to resell it at online auction. I am not good with Wedgwood, meaning I just don't know. Again, made for a very long time in England. Some of it is quite valuable, some of it is not. And I've never really gotten into Wedgwood enough to study it. And it's something that I'd like to do. It's one of my goals. Mid-century dinnerware here in pink with some weird-looking weeping willow pine tree thing on it. There's some of that iridescent 1970s stuff. I think that's Indiana glass. Indiana glass, I think. Some silver overlay. They had a nice old-fashioned look to them, but I'm certain that they're new. There's that ashtray toilet seat again. I wish somebody would buy that, so I'll stop looking at it. I don't know why it annoys me. Now these are amethyst. Yeah, now they're not old. I don't know what they are. Little, they don't look like banana split bowls. I don't know what you would do with those. And this, I was puzzled at first. I thought, it's amberina, and I see that etching on the side. But then there's that thing stuck in the middle, and I just decided it's not old and I'm not going to mess with it. It was pretty though. I guess kind of like a chip and dip set. I don't know. Maybe you put a candle in the middle and goldfish in the outside. I don't know. Now there's a sugar bowl. I would have bought that if I could find a creamer to go with it. It looks like an EAPG pattern of some kind. Some snack sets, and ooh, look at that up there. Wow, that is a beautiful piece of glass, and it was heavy. That was more than 5 pounds. Beautifully embossed. Ooh, $15. Well, it is a piece of, I believe it's Westmoreland, and I don't remember the name of the pattern. I think it's a piece of Westmoreland glass. Now, I'm not going to leave you oops, what's going on there? I guess I got too excited. I don't know what happened. Yes, I put it in my cart. Yes, you're going to see it again sometime soon. What is going on? I'm making fun of my own filming. That beautiful ice blue Westmoreland glass bowl will show up at some point, so hang in. We'll see it again. Okay. We need to fire the editor. Look at this. Pink Depression, 1930s. How many are up there? A complete set of 8. Now, one of them has to be chipped. This glass is paper thin, as it usually is. But I rubbed my hands around the top of all 8 of them, and there's not a chip on any of them. I could not believe it. I always find at least 1 or 2 or 3 flea bites because the glass is so thin. But I'm going to buy them all 8 of them, and we'll see them again in the old curiosity shop. Now stay tuned. I've got some more things I want to show you. Don't go anywhere. Okay, that was fun. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 items that I want to show you that are autumn themed, and they're up for sale in the old curiosity shop right now. 2 candy dishes. Let's start with, hold on for just a second. Let's start out with this one. And I want to say that I've seen this in the catalogs by Cambridge, but again, it's like those candy jars that look sort of like an apothecary jar. Everybody made them. And almost every glass company made little 3-part nut dishes, candy dishes like this. Most of the time when I'm out, I find that with no lid. Or sometimes these are fitted down inside of a chrome caddy, you know, that Farber Brothers made. So normally you'll just find this. There's the original lid. So we can have all 3 different styles of nuts or candy corns in here, and they will not touch. For you people who don't like your food to touch. I know some of you are funny that way. So there's that. Okay? And that's in the store right now. Another candy dish, but before that candy dish, I have another owl nightlight. This is a wonderful pearlescent glass light. Okay, and we can see here, this is where the cord exits to the back so that it can sit flat on the table. And then the light goes up in there. And this is just another little hole just for venting purposes. And this lights up. There are no holes in the eyes or anything, but when it lights up, this whole thing glows. It has a beautiful pearlescent glow. And if you go on the eBay site, you will see pictures of this all lit up. Now, I'm selling it just like this with no electric cord. I don't have one. I borrowed one from something else. If I go out and buy an electric cord for this, it's going to be another $6 or $7. Any of you can get those electric lights in the craft stores that you have in your part of the country, whatever that may be. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's Fabric, I don't know. Circuit City, Radio Shack. I think some of those places are not in business anymore, but you know what I mean. And some of you already have electric cords just sort of floating around. So selling it like this, there's no damage on it. You supply your own illumination, but do not stick a lighted candle up in there. Those little fake candles probably are not going to be bright enough. You probably need a little C7 light bulb, Christmas bulb, to light this up. But anyway, that's up and running. And then I have one more candy dish. Wait until you see this candy dish. This is my favorite, and I almost don't want to sell it. But I'm in the business. So look at this. Wow. It stands on 3 legs, little tiny legs there. It's a beautiful honey amber color. Absolutely beautiful condition. No chips or cracks in it at all. Look at that. Unsure of the maker, I'd have to go through my Depression glass books to find it. But again, as I always say, it's one of the good glass companies of the 1920s, 30s, 40s. We all know those companies. Yeah, really nice. And so, hold on. Wait a minute. I don't know why I had to do that little head dancing, but very excited. I know it's just Labor Day weekend, but it's never too early. Here we go. You will display your candy corns like no one else on the street. They'll be knocking at your door. Okay, isn't that wonderful? Don't you think? I love it. You know what I used to do in church when I was little? This is when my mother sat in the choir loft, and I would have to sit next to my grandparents. My grandfather sat on the outside of the pew, you know, the man, he sat on the outside. Then my grandmother, my big grandmother, and then I had to sit next to her. But when we had Halloween candy, I would get the candy corns. And do that. Of course, we had one of those old churches where, you know, the choir loft is right up by the organ and they're facing out. So I know my mother could see what I was doing. If my grandmother saw what I was doing, I would get in trouble. Anyway, did anybody else used to do that in church? You know, those Methodist kids. All right, the last thing we have. What the heck is it? Okay, butter or cheese? I'm going to say cheese rather than butter because this would be a lot of butter. Let me stand up to where you can see the whole thing, hopefully. This thing is huge. Can you see it? I mean, that is 5 inches in diameter. Now, of course, butter would come in big, you know, chunks, big 1-pound lumps, right? And it's got the vent holes in the top. Yeah. And I love the way this piece is shaded here with the brown and the brown on the lid, so you can match them up like that. It's Bavarian, I believe. I don't have my, well, you know, Bavarian, German, and it's excellent. There's not a chip or a crack anywhere on this thing. And I'm hoping that I cannot drop it, but I want you to see how beautiful it is. Okay, hash it out in the comments below. Butter or cheese? Now remember, this is the size of a dinner plate. The cheese, the butters are usually a lot smaller, and a lot of times the cheese has a different shape. It's almost shaped like a chunk of, you know, Swiss cheese. I can't think of anything else other than, you know, butter or cheese with the vent holes in the top, but maybe an expert who knows more than I, and there are plenty of you out there, would know exactly. Let's, for now, say either butter or cheese. This may or may not be in the shop right now. If it's not in the shop right now, it's going to be as soon as I can get it listed. And I have not listed that Chinese yellow vase either, because I have to live with this for a little while. But that's probably going to be it for now. Everyone, I hope you're doing well. Here I am. And thank you for watching. And I'll try to be a little more consistent with the videos here on out. That's it for now. Thank you for all the purchases you made in the autumn extravaganza. I'm looking forward to this time next week it'll be all over. I have some special guests arriving. You probably already know if you watch other channels. I'm not going to tell you now. I'll tell you tomorrow when I come back. But some folks are coming and we're going to have a good time, and I'll tell you all about them. They have YouTube channels of their own, and it should be a lot of fun. Okay, that's it. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching. Happy pumpkin spice, and so long for now. Now, I can't ship this candy dish full of candy corns, can I? That would just add too much to the postage. So we're just gonna have to do something about that. It's a hard life.